My name is Carlos Alemán. I'm a professor at James Madison University in Virginia, and this is the 9th year that we've worked with Playhouse Theatre for our program in conflict communication and culture and identity in Ireland and Northern Ireland. Well, I think the thing about the theater of witness is, in the United States especially, identity becomes a story that's under the story of what we understand about conflict, what we understand about politics. The opportunity to come to Derry, hear about identity, especially in a border city, which becomes prevalent in a lot of our conversations, a discussion of people reconciling not only their past identity, but who they are currently and where they want to go in a way that is familiar and not familiar, just really prompts the students to think actively about what it is that they're recognizing in those stories, and at the same time not.
And I think coming to theater spaces or art spaces like that, there is this potential to bring into the open things that are often held in secret or are silenced in our families, in our communities, and create spaces where people can be empowered to tell those stories with one another. And not only does that, I think, impact the storyteller, but it is transformative as well for the listener.
Seeing how they were able to connect with each other, being from such different backgrounds, because their trauma was the same, or they were sharing this same lack of unity, and they were kind of craving that, and they found that here. William kept on saying that him and Desi were on opposite ends of the spectrum, and they came back together. And I think that is really interesting, and it does give me hope, because I think that it can be repeated elsewhere if it can be done here as well. So
one of the things that when we're listening to a vulnerable story, we start to feel that in our bodies, because our emotions are evoked, and we start to begin to see the value of being vulnerable with other people.
So if storytelling becomes that center point, and storytelling becomes that point of understanding each other, then storytelling becomes a starting point for pursuing a social justice. And maybe that social justice begins with just an understanding of yourself in this larger situation, but it can't end there, right? It can't just end with your own personal understanding. It can end, it moves you, prompts you into community activism and community activities, right?
This idea of storytelling as a form of social justice and of collaborative storytelling, and as taking our stories to the community as a mechanism to make change, to build peace, to intervene in an unjust situation, or just to have a way to dialogue across difference, to begin to see these points of commonality. And sometimes pain is that point of commonality. Our pain may be different, it may look different, it may feel different, but then that sort of brings us together as storytellers. And I think that can be a really powerful route towards advocating for a social change.